think we're live. Good evening. If we're live, how are we doing, folks? Hope everyone's well. This is number 4, have you say, with my ugly friend,
Richard.
We're here to take your calls tonight. So if you have any questions or if you'd like to speak about a topic, there's a couple of topics that we need to do because we've had quite a lot of interest in a couple of different topics. And those 2 topics are lockdowns and the new variant. So they're entwined, which is handy as well. But if you have any questions or if you'd like to speak about anything, please give us a tinkle on 0758 777 1617 in stereo. Richard gives it that ugly sort of like, bit of a tang, I suppose.
So if you've got any questions and you want a righty's opinion, I'm your righty.
I'm your lefty.
And Chrissy's your lefty. So
even though we're both pretty middleist, really, he won't agree with that. But we're both centrist, really. So we're waiting for any calls. Whilst we're waiting for some calls to come in, let me just go through a few that we've had. Omicron, an anagram of moronic. It's quite ironic, but it's moronic. And it's Omicron, but there you go. So that one, whether or not you think that's just a coincidence or if it's, I can't say that they actually done that specifically, give it the that moniker to take the mickey, but it certainly does sound a bit ironic, moronic. Next one will be, I've got a gentleman that's asking for a bit of help with the disability side of things, so I'll get busy with them this week. We've also, I'm going to get the pronunciation wrong here because I'm dyslexic, but here we go. Have you seen Rainer Fuelnick's? What do you reckon on that one? How's that one? Yeah, Rainer Fuelnick. I had a quick look. I've quickly Googled, and it looks like an author that has been calling out what's going on in the world. We've got to be a little bit careful mentioning the C word and stuff like that, because I'm reliably informed that they'll scrub the channel and stuff like that. So but I shall have a look at that and report back. The next one is, this one's a very good one. This is quite an interesting one. Hi Chrissy, hope you are well. A bit of a different one here. Although there are many ills within our society today, here in the UK, there are also growing issues abroad which doesn't get any light from the powers that be, brackets, unless it fits their agenda, of course. My question is, what is your take on the horrendous atrocities taking place right now against Palestinians and Uyghurs a genocide under our very noses? Thank you. Richard.
So Uyghurs, they are a Muslim minority in China. Am I right?
Central and Northern, I believe.
Okay. Well, my take on it is this. There are certain countries that have got a get out of jail free card and they can seem to do whatever they want. The countries involved and that I'm speaking about, there's lots of them, but the ones that spring to mind are China, Saudi Arabia and Israel. And what Israel is doing to the Palestinians.
Our allies.
Yeah, because they're our allies and because we trade with them and we've got a lot of Israeli influence within certain governments around the world, and they seem to get away with literally murder. We need to keep these people in check, and why are we trading with these people?
Yeah.
We need to stop trading with them and speak to them about their atrocities. Saudi Arabia, they've got the oil.
Treat them a little bit more like Iran.
Yeah, and it's funny how the countries that can fight back, they don't do anything to. Saddam Hussein, he didn't have weapons of mass destruction, did he? And I think they knew that, and that's why they overran his country. Would they be overrunning Israel, to stop the genocide against the Palestinians? I don't think so. Why is that? There's a very big Israeli lobby throughout the Western world protecting them, and they're totally out of order. What do you think?
I'm pretty similar with that one. I always say that it's down to our government to lobby and to sanction and to basically show disdain for any atrocities or genocides that are carrying on anywhere in this world. And as a citizen, is all you can do is basically outvote the governments that support the tyrannical regimes. And sadly, with everything that's going on in the world, it looks like we're becoming a tyrannical regime. I'm a big person for freedom of choice. If and for instance, if people want to, I'm trying to word this so that if people want to get the help that's out there for the current health crisis, then that's their choice. I'd like them to be fully informed. I'd like them to have informed consent. But, sadly, I don't think a lot have. And fear is gripping a lot of them. And, the propaganda that's out there is causing that fear. But ultimately, I'm free choice. So we've got to choose what government we want. And if the government isn't lobbying other governments and making things difficult for oppressive regimes, then we need to get a new government. So it's a step process. We can't do much about what's going on abroad, but what we can do is get a better government to influence what's going on abroad. Hopefully, stop stuff like that. Because let's be honest, no one wants people dying unnecessarily anywhere. So, well, I certainly don't anyway. So, but if you would like to give a call in to discuss that one more, I've not got your name on here, fella, but whoever that was, if you'd like to phone in, more than happy to chat. Let's move on to the next one.
Just a nationalist perspective on that. The nationalist perspective is to leave other people's countries alone.
Yeah.
Not to interfere, not to start wars, get involved over
unless they're awful.
Well,
unless they're awful.
Well, yeah, I agree, Chrissy. Or it's got British interests at heart. The Falklands Islands. I was all for that. But getting involved in these Muslims, Middle East countries where it's all very tribal, you're just opening up a can of worms. Just keep well away from them,
Yeah, stop trying to force your brand of democracy on them.
Yeah.
Let them come to their own brand of democracy. Just help them along the way.
Democracy, that's a word that's bandied about, Chrissy. Democracy, and the British government get involved in these countries and spout democracy. We've got the scandalous first past the post system. So in all 650 constituencies of this country, you could come second. You could lose by one vote, and you'd have zero representation in the House of Commons. Now, how does that work? And
proportional representation is what we need, sir.
Yeah, exactly, all the way.
But that's a whole different chat. Here's the next one before we start getting any calls, if anyone wants to call. Hi, Chrissy and Richard. Hope you are well. We're fine. Well, I'm fine. Are you fine?
I'm okay.
Yeah, he's ugly, but he's fine. Not so much a question as curiosity, really. Has there been a council meeting since the infamous point of order one? And were you allowed to partake in it? So this is the interesting thing. I'm at all the meetings, even the ones I'm not supposed to be at, and even the ones that they don't want me at, which is all of them. I just turn up and sit there. I call it my watching brief, and if I see anything that I need to speak up about, I speak up about it, and that hasn't changed. I will still speak up in any of the meetings. They can't stop me going into any of the meetings. Is all they can do is say, you're not on the committee, so you shouldn't speak. Well, guess what? I don't see it that way. I see it that if I see something wrong, I'm not going to be going with it. And the strange thing is, most of the meetings, I don't need to say anything. Most of the meetings are okay. They don't need my input. I'm not going to put people's backs up by, just speaking out unnecessarily. So maybe one in 4 or 5 meetings, I might have something to say. But now that they've told me I can't speak, every meeting I go to, I'm going to end up speaking as a member of the public, which is something they can't stop. So where they tried to quiet me completely, keep me, shut me up completely, now I'm just, sidestepping that, and I'll be speaking as a member of the public at almost every meeting. Yet again, I'm not going to just speak for the sake of it, but I do feel the need now to show them that they cannot quiet people that they just don't like the opinion of, that rock the boat, as it was. They need to improve. If they improve, I'll have nothing to say. And there's no way they can actually stop me going to the meetings. I mean, they've even gone to the lengths of trying to get the police in. But as I'll be telling them at the next one, the only time the police get involved in a council meeting is if someone commits a crime. And by being there, speaking, just literally having my democratic right to speak as an elected representative, there's no way that they're going to be able to get the police involved. The police shouldn't and don't get involved in politics. The reason the coppers come last time was because they was turning up to a disturbance, what they was told was a disturbance. If they'd have known it was for me as an elected representative, they probably wouldn't have even bothered showing up. And if they did show up, all they can do is stand there and watch to see if anyone commits a crime. And if anyone commits a crime, then they can act. But until a crime's committed, police can't get involved in council meetings. And the chairman and the vice chairman, both ex-police, should know that. I mean, as politicians,
they
should
know that,
that.
Chrissy.
Of course they know that.
They
Of course
know
they know that. And if they don't, they shouldn't be there. Well, I don't think either of them should be there anyway.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting. I think I'll be in there on Wednesday. I believe there's a planning meeting on Wednesday. I'll be sitting in attendance, and you can watch that on the. Well, I might even do a live from there. Let's see what happens.
And just to say that, hey, Chrissy's on 2 councils, and we've had a meeting since the incidents you mentioned, and Heybridge Parish Council, which Chrissy, of course, is the elected vice chair of that council. We had a very, very productive meeting. We did have an unusual few members of the public turn up just to see what was going on, and they had the opportunity to speak because, as the chairman, I always we on our council, we have the opportunity for a member of the public to come in and ask the chair any question they like. It's something that we brought in. And if I can't answer that, or we collectively can't answer that, then we will get back to them very, very soon. But it was a very productive meeting. And as you might recall, Chrissy, we did put our precept, which was our council tax, down for the 3rd time in 4 years. So
Heybridge residents are getting a good deal from our little parish council. It's one of the things that we should be doing as councils. Where we can save a bit of money, we shouldn't be sitting on too much money. We're trying to get all that sorted out now, aren't we? But the parish council is completely different to the district council, folks. And the one thing I did say when I signed up for all this malarkey was that I'd hopefully bring local government to the people more, because up until now, it certainly, in our district, most people didn't know or care what was going on in their district council, and at least now more people are looking into it and saying, hang on a minute, and they're getting involved and getting an opinion. So that's something that I wanted to do from the very start, and that I've achieved now.
And just to let listeners know, you can go along to your local council meetings. You can speak. You can have your say.
You can stand as a councillor.
Yeah.
You can actually become a councillor. So it's, I mean, the way I understand it is phone up your local council and ask them if there's any open seats on the parishes, on any council. Just phone them up and say, I want to become a councillor. Could you please help me? And, they'll put you through to the electoral people there, won't they, Richard? And you can become that councillor, but only do it if you have got, the right intentions. If you've got, excuse the phrase, if you've got the balls to do it, if you've got the integrity to do it as well, because you'll get on these councils and they'll dull you down, or they'll try and clip your wings. They'll try and tell you that it's always been this way, and be realistic and stuff like that. And hopefully,
that can't be done.
No, we've never done that, and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, well, let's have a look at trying, because the only guaranteed way to fail is not to try. So if you think that you can help your community. And the thing is, it's like I'm just the first in this district anyway. I'm the first councillor in this district that has fought back, that has said, no, I'm not happy with this. This needs to be tackled. And, you know, if you can do that, and if there's a few of you, I mean, if I had my ugly mate on district council right now, we'd have got so much more changed. We'd have changed it for the better as well.
Yeah.
So let's new question. What's your opinion on the abuse by local councils with regards to non-disclosure agreements? From Dave the Octopus. Well, my eight is it legs?
Yeah, legged friend.
Is it an eight-legged? That sounds like
tentacles,
spider.
tentacles.
Tentacles. That's it. Tentacles. I knew there was non-disclosure agreements. Basically, I call non-disclosure agreements legal bribes. They are used to shut staff up that are leaving at Malden District Council, certainly. Malden District Council have a unusually high amount of non-disclosure agreements. And my main problem is that as a district councillor, there are 31 district councillors in Malden District. Everything Malden District Council does, they do with my name on it, because I'm one of those councillors. And even though I don't agree,
collectively responsible.
Collective responsibility is the one. So I want to know why we are spending tens, if not hundreds of thousands, because they won't tell me how much they're spending. And they won't deny that it's in the tens of thousands. You know, I've been completely shut off. I've said to them, look, guys, if nothing untoward's going on, I won't mention a word, because they're like, oh, you're gonna breach confidentiality. Well, no, what I'll do is I'll decide whether I think it's in the public interest. And I believe that at least a couple of the people that have been given these legal bribes, non-disclosure agreements, I believe that they've been given those so that they do not bring criminal behaviour to the forefront. So, and the strange thing is, some of the people that authorise the payments are the people that would be on the criminal charges. And there are criminal charges. This will all be coming out. I'll be getting whatever information I can. And what information I can't get, people will just have to draw an adverse inference on. And an adverse inference is when you can't get an answer, so you just have to, you know, assume, yeah, that what's going on is going on. For instance, when they investigated me, when they got their hatchet man in, I asked how much money it was costing, because I got told that he was £300 an hour. Well, I asked, even asked, we all asked, and they wouldn't tell us. Now, if it was less than £300 an hour, yeah, maybe. And remember, this is a council that won't spend a bean on helping food banks in our district, yeah? And Malden has got almost 1 in 3. It's definitely 1 in 4. It's you know, that there is a third of children in this district that are below the poverty line, and we won't give a penny. We won't even phone up the food banks and ask them what they need and how we can help, but they'll spend £300 on a barrister. And I mean, the other thing is this guy, yeah, sorry, £300 an hour on a barrister. This is Richard's phone case. Look, yeah. Now Richard, yeah, look, he's smiling. Look, I'm showing his Union Jack off. Richard is a traditionalist. He loves his country. Do you love your country?
I love my country.
He loves his country. I can't blame him for that. I love my country, but I don't love my government, if that makes more sense. Yeah, and you're probably the same there, Richie. But he loves his country, and he decided to put up a flagpole and fly Union Jack. St George's on St George's Day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And a Union Jack every, you know, for the rest of the 364 days or whatever. And Malden District Council, and he did it all legally. You know, I checked the bit of law out for you, didn't I?
Yeah, definitely.
We looked all into it, and Malden District Council sent a guy to Richard's erection. They took a photograph of his erection, used a magnified lens. They took a photograph of Richard's flagpole and sent him a big letter saying that they'd done a report and whatever else, and basically tried to get him to take his flag down and blah blah blah. And I ended up ringing him up and saying,
apply for planning permission.
Yeah, and
expensive.
Of course, when you apply for planning permission, what do they get?
Money.
Yeah, you've got to pay them. You know what I mean? You pay them money. So they're doing all that, and they've got officers that can come out and take photographs. They've got officers to do reports, and they've got officers to send letters asking you for money. But they've got And in the end, they found out that I was right. He can have it up, and he doesn't need planning permission and all that malarkey.
So my erection is safe.
So his erection was saved by his good mate. And basically, they've got all the money to do that because they want to scratch a few £100 at you with a planning appeal or whatever it is, but they haven't got the money to ring up a food bank. And this is the important bit: they haven't got the money to ring up a food bank and ask the food bank how they, what
can help.
How can we help? What do you need, or anything like that? Now that really sticks it in for me, because we ain't got our priorities right. There's officers available to do that, and there's officers available to do anything else but seemingly help the vulnerable people of the district. That's what I want to change.
I think there's a few other little things that we'll be updating viewers on about, certain harassment that I've been getting through my association with Councillor Morris.
No, it's because you're ugly.
And, at the end of the day, I'm going to stand shoulder to shoulder with Chrissy.
Yeah.
And, so they can do what they like, they can try what they like. We've got them. We've got some papers that will be going in very, very soon. So, and I know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and everyone knows what they're up to. And it's just like, let's see if we can peel away Chrissy's mate from him. He's right hand man.
Divide and conquer.
But do you know what? They've poked two angry bears with a very sharp stick.
Well, I mean, you're a bear, but I'd class myself as more of a good-looking panther.
You're a badger, Chrissy. You're a badger.
Honey badger. They're naughty. They're naughty animals. Have a look at honey badgers, man. They're proper naughty. Right, we've had a couple of texts coming in. Let's just have a look at this one. I've got to read it in my head before I read it out, just in case it's rude. Right, okie dokie. Hi Chrissy, from your knowledge, do you have any idea how to stop the council putting a charging order on the property and then sell for C-tax, please? Can you give us some advice on that one? Right, I've got a lot of stuff coming up about council tax. Council tax has been something that I've disagreed with for a very long time now. We do need to have a revenue stream for our councils. There are some stuff that the councils do, like the care of the elderly, the upkeep of the certain things and stuff like that. We do need to keep a revenue stream going in. So I'm not saying no one should pay tax, because that's ridiculous. But I'd like, and it's going to be something that needs to be done at a higher level from me, but I'm still going to be shouting about it. I'm still going to be wanting to, push for a change in it, because a lot of people are crippled by council tax. They're told it's a priority debt and stuff like that. Well, I'm sorry, but, and I know people that have fell behind with their rent to pay their council tax. And, if you just think about it for a minute, if you lose your home due to rent arrears, you won't have to pay council tax. So council tax comes, and if you are literally scratching about, then it's council tax that's you pay your rent, you pay your bills, your food and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people have got a very, very small disposable income, and when your disposable income is literally pennies, that's when council tax is not a priority debt in my book. So council tax is something I'm going to be taking on.
I've got a couple of quick things on that, Chrissy. With orders on property, presumably we're talking about freehold properties. You can, for instance, me and Chrissy might be dealing with some people because we're owed some compensation. For instance, we will be putting some cautions on people's properties. So you put a caution on a property, and then that means they can't sell that property, right, until the dispute has been sorted. So then they would have gone to court and maybe put a charging order on that property. Now, when that charging order sits on your property, the interest stops. So at that moment in time, now you don't have to pay that yet. You can pay that when you sell the property. So they can apply for a charge. They can apply for an order for you to make you sell that property, but they never do. And it probably wouldn't get it through the court system, because you'd be making someone homeless for a small debt or whatever it is. So charging orders are not the end of the world. It's not a nice thing to happen to you. And quite possibly, if they've put it on in the wrong way, you can get that lifted. So you should get some sort of legal advice if they are going to do that. But it's a lot of work to get orders, and you have to go through the courts process. I've put orders on people's properties who've messed with me before, and I'm sure I'm going to be doing it again very soon. So I do know a little bit about that, but you should always get legal advice, because the law changes on these things, periodically. So get some up-to-date legal advice on that. But it's not the end of the world. If you're in a financial debt, let them stick the order on there, and you'll pay it without the interest when you sell the property. It might be 20 years, it might be 10 years time, or whenever, when you're in a better position.
Having nothing is a very good place to be when you've got when you want to take the system on, because obviously they blackmail you with any assets you've got and stuff like that. And but I'll get back to that gentleman hopefully this week. On a more serious note, and I wasn't laughing whilst Richard was speaking, it's just that I'm getting some funny texts, and I've just got to say, George, you are incorrigible. You're awful. You're terrible. You're a very, very naughty boy, but I love you. If I become a counsellor, will I get a car like Richard's for me and female counsellor to enjoy? Well, I don't know, mate. I don't know. But one thing I can say is, and he is me mate, so, and I am biased. This guy works hard. He's built a business up. He's worked hard. He looks after his staff. He got his car because that's the only thing he does. He don't drink. He don't smoke. We have an unknown number. Let's see who this is. You're live on YouTube.
Hiya, you okay?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. How are you?
Hello.
Oh, I can't believe we've got through. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
No worries. You're the first person to call tonight.
Oh, massive, brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, I watch your YouTube stuff all the time, and I think I need to say it to you both. You're absolutely brilliant. Your point of order video was absolutely fantastic. Thank you for giving us sort of like the thing to go on and just continue and try and sort of like beat the establishment, if you like.
Yeah, that was the gift that kept on giving. It really was.
Yeah, it really, really was.
It could have been over in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and I can't believe the stupidity of the chairman. And the thing that really annoyed me about it all was that I didn't receive as much support from the other councillors, because even if they didn't like me, they should have realised that calling a point of order is a right that we all have. And far too many of them.
Yeah, totally agree with you.
They just let it happen, and that was the biggest thing.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for Malden to have the chairman do that. How could you do that in front of millions of people? What a donut.
Yeah.
I must admit, I'm not really into a lot of politics, but if it screws my family, then I need to sort of like know about stuff. So it's not that I'm sort of like clued up or anything like that, but it's just amazing what you're doing.
Thank you, mate.
Big up to you all. Big up to you all.
I'm just trying to do my best, and so is he. He's uglier than me, so he doesn't get as much of a chance to. But if people just take more interest in what's going on, then that way the snakes won't get away with slithering quite as easy. So
no, totally agree.
So many people believe that politics is boring and politics isn't something that's for them. But when you think about it, everything is politics. The food you eat, the laws you live under,
the air you breathe.
Yeah, your bins are late. There's dog shit on the path. It all comes down to politics and the people that you've got in, and whether or not they actually care too much. And what they've done is they've made it so boring and monotonous that they're left to get on with it without public scrutiny, or not enough public scrutiny. So, but
No, I totally agree with you. One question I will have though, and it's been on my mind for absolutely ages, is white dog poo. Why do we not see white dog poo anymore?
Do you know what?
Is that global warming, or is it something that we just don't see anymore? It sounds a bit daft. But
Yeah, no.
Something that, you know what I mean?
I mean, thinking about I suppose it might be about the colour of the food, because I had a little bit of tikka masala sauce left over the other day, and I thought, I'll give that to the pup and see what happens. And bright red poos.
Yeah. Maybe not for Sunday night YouTube.
No. Let's moving swiftly
I know
on.
you like this sort of thing, Chrissy and Richard, but a bit of frivolity and everything that goes with it, and etc.
Yeah. Well, at least we're not talking about Peppa Pig World.
I have no clue. I don't follow politics.
Oh, mate, Boris Johnson earlier on in the week absolutely fluffed a speech and started going on about Peppa Pig World. And people say I talk, rubbish, but you won't ever catch me talking about Peppa Pig World and stuff like that. Mind you, maybe if I did, they'll they'll start electing me.
Material, yeah.
PM. So but thanks ever so much for your call.
Oh, can I just ask one more question?
Keep going, mate. Keep going.
The thing, I know you sort of like pertinent on time and everything.
No, it's fine, mate. It's fine.
I know the genre of the calling today was to do with COVID and everything else.
Yeah.
And the mask wearing. Why can we not go out? We're not going to catch COVID till Tuesday. I find that really, really bizarre.
Well, the thing is, right? If you take, and this is what I'm just patching this together from previous government advice. If you go out with a Scotch egg, I don't think COVID's going to come near you. Because if you've got a substantial meal, COVID will leave you alone. And also, if you stay at seated height, so if everyone walks around bent over, they won't get it either. Mate, some of the stuff is ridiculous. And, I've got to be careful what I say here, but if you look at the government statistic, the government statistics will tell you that COVID is comparable with a flu. It's comparable with influenza in transmissibility and mortality. There's not much difference. They've made it into some sort of like man-eating lion, when all it really is an over-exuberant golden retriever. It isn't the deadly killer that they've made it out to be. The age of the people that die with it. Notice I didn't say from it. Yeah, because that's another thing. They're saying people are dying with COVID. Now, dying with COVID is not dying from COVID. And the analogy that I'll use there is that I'm a diabetic. Now, if I died tomorrow, there'd be a lot of my trolls would be really happy with that. But if I died tomorrow, if I died tomorrow, fell in front of a bus, for instance, they could say I died with diabetes because I'm diabetic. But it weren't the diabetes that killed me.
So isn't that to do with the 28-day thing?
They try to change it to 60.
Quite honestly, Chrissy, I do know a lot of people that have actually died from it. I've had COVID.
Yeah.
And it wasn't nice. It really, really wasn't nice. And I work in a sort of like public fronted company that deals with people. I've worked all the way through. I get it, and I get everyone's. I'm not going to be here and say to people, at the end of the day, you do, what I will say is you do what you need to do, and I'll do what I need to do to protect me and family.
Free choice.
And that needs to happen. And I think you have to do what's right for you, and try not to push it on other people. I'm not disparaging any of you lot, you know what I mean? But
no, that's perfect, mate. That's absolutely perfect. That's exactly why I see it. I mean, I when I see people, and there are people that haven't been out for almost 2 years now, that are that scared, and that does it saddens me. People that are so scared of.
It really is bad, and I do feel sorry for the shop workers and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, have to wear the masks, and not have to wear the mask, but they choose to.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's people out there that go in and they'll lick money and they do this, that, and the other, and they take money from the bras. I mean, I'm from the northeast of England, so I see it all the time in the shops that I go in, and it's pretty sad that obviously it's time of year where people get bugs and this, that, and the other, and sick bugs, and a lot of kids coming down with stuff. For the last 2 years, if you like, that, you know, there's been slap cheek, there's been all sorts of bumps going around because we've been, you know, we've become immune to sort of everything really, to be honest. So it's a 50-50 situation where we all need to sort of like take our own part and do what's right for your family, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. See, the thing I always say to people is fear and healthy respect. And my line on the current health crisis that's going on is that what we needed to do. I mean, I'm a great believer in my nan's old people's wisdom, and she always used to say, "Keep your germs to yourself." You know, coughs and sneezes spread diseases, all that sort of stuff. And if you're ill, stay at home. You know, get yourself a box set, get under a duvet and some chicken soup and stuff like that. Keep your germs to yourself as best you can. You know, and it really annoys me about like. Yeah, I wasn't going to mention Lucozade because of GlaxoSmithKline and what a excuse my French, bastard of a company they are. But yeah, GlaxoSmithKline. Ooh. And I don't care if you sue me; I ain't got nothing to sue. But yeah, just sort of like, you know, looking after. I mean, what the government was proposing was COVID marshals. Well, rather than COVID marshals, we should have had sort of like COVID carers, because the majority of the British people aren't actually going to be affected by COVID, you know, the actual virus, because it mainly hits the older people. Now, I love old people, and those are the people that we need to protect, the vulnerable. Yeah, we don't need to be protecting our young people and taking away their freedoms and their liberties and putting extra mental health issues on them, because we're just going to have, you know, the next generation is going to be in fear of literally everything. You know, I didn't like being told by the government that I needed to wash my hands. The way you know, if I come out of the toilet, I wash my hands anyway. You know, I bath every day. I'm a clean person, and some of the, you know, silly restrictions that they put in. I mean, last year, what was it? The rule of six. You could meet in a pub. You could meet people in a pub, but you couldn't meet your family at home. It's crazy. You know? And
get that.
Yeah, you know, it's one of them things though, where if people have got a fear, you know, wear a mask. I mean, I've never had a go at anyone for wearing a mask. If you want to wear a mask, if you feel safe wearing a mask, wear a mask. It's just that, like I was saying earlier, you've got fear and you've got healthy respect. And I can't stand it when people are in fear of stuff. Yeah, healthy respect is brilliant, but fear is something that, you know, we should try and eradicate as best as possible. And the thing is, I mean, I've got a shark phobia. I watched bloody Jaws when I was like 6 or 7 years old, and I've got a shark phobia. So you won't ever see me in the sea. The chances are that the you know, the temperature of the water, drowning, you've got so much more chance of being killed by something else.
Jellyfish.
Anything.
Yeah.
Practically, you know, a shark is probably the last thing that will get you.
Sorry to interject.
No, go on, mate.
Is the sharks in Malden though?
Sorry?
Is there sharks in Malden though?
Do you know what? The way my brain works, because of Jaws, but they're on the land. The way my brain works, if I put a big toe in the sea, there'll be a great white weight in there, and you'll see the headlines: "Good-looking bald man killed, first man killed by a great white shark." But yeah, I mean, you know, you've got so much more chance of dying from other things other than sharks. But I've got that irrational fear, and you know, I've tried to get a healthy respect, and healthy respect is, don't worry about the sharks. The sharks is one of the, you know, smaller problems in the water. Worry about the temperature of the water. Worry about the undercurrent. There's so much more to worry about other than sharks. But it's because in my brain I was programmed. I watched Jaws when I was too young, and now I'm scared of sharks and therefore the water. What I'd like to say to people is look at what you're losing by being in fear, and try and overcome that, and weigh things up, and see if you can sort of like, you know, rationally come and have a healthy respect for something. If you've got a respiratory illness, if you're, you know, of an older age, then yeah, you need to have more regard for, you know, viruses in general, not just, you know, COVID, for all other viruses in general, because some of these older people, they've spent almost 2 years locked in their homes. you know, relying on other people to get their shopping and stuff like that. And, you know, that is just so sad. You know, I'm big on mental health, big on social isolation and stuff like that. I mean, you know, it's more of a worry that there are literally hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people that are going to be negatively affected from this health emergency when really they didn't have much more than a comparable flu type virus to worry about.
No, I get that. But what do you think the UK is doing different than, obviously, we all get bugs and this, that, and the other over the years, you know, you've had scarlet fever, you've had mumps, you get all that sort of thing, which is obviously the MMRs and everything like that. So over this country, what do you think that we are not doing what we should be doing, like Germany, Austria, Australia? What are we doing wrong as a country?
Well, what I would say to this is who's next to the Prime Minister, and you'll see some little person pop up, and they are the ones giving the government advice. So they're the ones responsible for this. But what the point I'm making is that the government should get the correct advice. All of a sudden they wheel someone in, you know, and this person is supposed to be God, and they know everything about everything. Remember, not too long ago, we had these experts saying that Saddam Hussein has got weapons of mass destruction. He come and he bent Tony Blair's ear, and all of a sudden we went to war. And, you know, 250,000 people have died, and there's been continual deaths ever since. And the little advisor goes back in his box, you know, and he disappears. Meanwhile, you know, thousands and millions of people's lives have been disrupted. And it's the same with the coronavirus. I don't know who these people are giving the government advice, but all I know, it stinks. It doesn't make any sense to me, you know, that all of a sudden on a Monday at a certain time, we've got to wear a mask, but you don't before. And you can be with 6 people, you can't be with 7. You can travel one day, you can't travel the next. And these little unelected trolls, I call them, little trolls, are giving the government advice, and the government are acting on it.
The thing is, though, you've got to ask yourself, what sort of a politician is believing it?
Yeah.
And isn't questioning it? Now,
Isn't that not part of the job?
That's what I'm saying. We need politicians with integrity.
Do you not get given roles? I'm saying you get given roles, but do you not publicise yourself, promote yourself to do the best that you can do as a councillor? Or
well, we're trying to. That's why we're here now. But the trouble is, it just seems that, you know, you've got all these millions, billions being ploughed in to divert people's attention away from the real issues for the how can I put it without sounding too tabloidy? You know, you've got bungs being given. You know, you've got some of the big politicians. They're sitting as a non-executive director on these boards.
Follow the money.
Yeah.
Follow the money.
And are they paid to ignore stuff and not see stuff? And isn't it really easy to say, oh, we worked on the advice? Well, it's our job to question the advice. And if you can't question the advice, then it's propaganda. You know, if you can't question what you're being told and they can't back it up, then it plain and simply is propaganda.
And if you ask questions, Chrissy, you're a bully.
Oh, yes. As soon as you ask more questions.
Yeah,
I've found that one out.
Oh, you're a bully.
Bully's the pair of you.
You love us, really? We're cuddly.
I need to see Richard in the Speedos again.
No.
Photo.
You'll get my channel strike, you do that. Believe me, you don't want to see him in his Budgie Smugglers.
I wasn't wearing Speedos. I was wearing a proper old-fashioned bathing suit.
What do you mean?
Budgie Smugglers. He was in Budgie Smugglers. Don't let him tell you any different.
Anyway, you take care. It's taking enough of your time up.
Thank you ever so much for calling in. And if you ever want to call in, discuss anything, mate, you got the number. Thank you ever so much, babe.
Take care.
Take care, darling. Thank you.
Now.
Bye, babe.
Bye.
Oh, she's gone. Thank you. That was a lovely lady. The number to call, guys. Oh, we've got another one. Let's just. Hello, you're live on YouTube.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Chrissy, happy Christmas.
Oh, thank you very much. It's not even December yet, but I'll take that one. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Like, oh my God, I loved your clip of the council show.
The whole one was actually funnier. The whole, because basically I was there, I was the first councillor there and I was the last councillor to leave. So I think it was about an hour and something minutes or whatever it was, but the whole one was quite funny. So
Oh my God, that's cheered me up so much. Like,
great. I was surprised that it went on for as long as it did, but mind you, saying that, I was pizzaed up because I was in there for the long haul. I wasn't leaving.
I just called to wish you happy Christmas. And,
Thank you ever so much, babe, and you. What are you doing for Christmas this year?
I'm going home just for a bit. Yeah, I'm going home.
Will you be wearing masks while you're eating your turkey?
Oh, well, yeah, definitely. There'll be a slit through the mask and, I've got a full hazmat suit on, plastic bubble.
That's a lady that likes protection.
Exactly. You can't, exactly, thank you. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, like, I'm going to have to go, but...
No, no worries. If you get bored, we'll always take a call from you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Don't apologise. Thank you for calling.
Oh, I love you guys. Happy
Love you more, darling. You take care, babe.
Take care. Thank you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
So where was we? Right.
Happy caller.
Yeah. Oh, look, we've got another one. They're all coming in now. This one is unknown. So, good evening and welcome. You're live on YouTube. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Sorry. Hello, you're live on YouTube.
Are you a professional fiddler?
Professional fiddler? No, I don't play the violin, but you do. Thank you. Obviously, one of the trolls. I think I know who that guy is. Well, I won't say too much because there's ongoing police proceedings with that one. If you would like to call, let's have a look. Who's calling now? We've got another one. Good evening. Welcome. You're on YouTube live.
Hey, happy days.
How are we doing?
Christy?
Is that PJ?
Who?
Is that PJ?
No,
it isn't.
No.
How you doing, fella? You all right?
I'm good. I'm a new caller, mate. Hello, Richie Harris.
Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. So you've touched on a couple of good things tonight. So I just wanted to know a couple of things myself. So I rang LBC recently.
Yeah.
And I got cut off. So what I wanted to know, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the government appointed a director of continuous improvement. Do you know that?
I heard something about it, but I didn't pay a lot of attention to it because the title just puts you off instantly, doesn't it? It's...
Like, no, it shouldn't do because that's what I do. You know, I saved nearly 200 grand last year at the company I work for, even though it hasn't improved fruitful because we're shutting down.
Right, okay.
But the point I want to make is these people, especially at that level, the wages were about 130 grand a year.
Yeah.
At that level, these people should be saving, or this person should be saving absolutely millions
Yes.
a year. So we did a little investigation at work, and it took for example, 600 quid to order a brush.
Wow.
Yeah, because
what brush? What brush? And can I supply that brush to your company?
Sorry?
Can I supply that brush to your company?
No, the cost isn't in the brush itself. The brush was only worth 30 quid, but it was the hierarchical structure it has to go through, and the box ticking exercise it has to go through. Yeah,
that seems the way of the world now, isn't it? It's rather than doing what's easy, it's wrap it all up in red tape and put some bureaucracy behind it, and see what you can get. And while it makes business for everyone, it doesn't make good business sense for the people at the bottom. So,
no, because at the end of the day, the costs outweigh the benefits, and eventually things go wrong.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're in a position to actually question this person, because I asked LBC, I was like, who? who is this person and what changes have they made within the government and what savings have they brought?
Yeah.
I don't know who this person is, because this is a person I would actually admire and follow. Just think, what are you going to do next?
I'm a little bit more cynical than you are, Governor. Whilst that's the job you do, and you apparently do it well at your company, if the government comes out with that, I would instantly, I'd be very critical, and I'd be thinking bullshit, because I don't think that, the current government and the current political system, apart from a few exceptions, they don't actually want to help the people. They just are there to help themselves. So
I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you.
So what happens is, Governor, is when I hear that the government's got an improvement person coming in and blah blah blah, I'm just thinking, right, is that not another way to screw the public? And
I agree with you.
Yeah,
and that's why I punish people to work. I absolutely proper punish them.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we've got to squeeze it. If it's going to cost 600 quid for a brush because of bureaucracy,
crazy, absolutely crazy.
You've got to eliminate that waste.
Yeah.
You've got to say, well, what the hell was that about?
Yeah. See, I mean, this is quite a good one, because obviously, at the parish council that I'm at, which is that's the first rung of the ladder, we get asked
my brother's a parish councillor.
Yeah. I mean, parish is the beginning, it's the start. And at our parish council, we basically, get asked to do the budget every year. And myself, Richard, and a good few of the other councillors, we all get together and we take hours to try and work out how we can reduce our budget and get stuff, cheaper and more cost effective. And we've done it 4 out of 3 years.
3 out of 4, we've reduced the budget.
Yeah,
and time on, year on year on, and the services have gone up. You can do this, and
just takes time and effort.
Yeah, and at the top, that bloke at the top, who's the continuous improvement director, probably creaming the reward for that from your hard work.
So what is the actual job role, bruv? If you can tell me again, I'll look it up.
Yeah, well, it was the director of continuous improvement for the government. It was in London, 130 grand a year it was, and I was like, wow, that person is my idol. That person must have so much knowledge that I want to know who this person is, who got that job,
I shall have a look, bro. I shall have a look. See, the thing is, what you'll find out is that it will be a company that have been brought in. Yeah. And, it'll be bloody Boris Johnson's second cousin's hamster's babysitter. Matt Hancock's neighbour's chicken's egg, or something stupid like that. And, there'll be a budget given to them of like 10 million. And, it all gets squirreled away somewhere. And, it's like, oh, well, we've done this to help the people, in continuous improvement and stuff like that. No, what you've done is you've basically spanned something and probably made it work for you and not for us, the people at the bottom. So, but I'll definitely have a look at that one. Anything else you've got to say at all, Governor?
Well, like I say, I want to keep an eye on the channel and things like that, if you could do that for us, because like I say, LBC just shut me down, and I was like, well, I mean, take the PMQs, Prime Minister's Question Times, right?
Yeah.
If you sit and work that out in terms of her financial cost, to sit there talking utter crap,
yeah,
I get nothing from that as a customer, and I'm just thinking, how much did that conversation just cost?
It leads you to believe that there is actually a choice, doesn't it? You think, oh, maybe they don't like each other. Maybe there is actually sort of like two opposing sides. When I think that and this is why me and Richard are both independent councillors, that the political system is literally an illusion of choice. You vote blue, you get red, you vote blue, blah, 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 blah. You've got no one in there, well, very few in there, that actually want what's best for the people. And integrity is everything. Integrity is everything, bruv.
Well, LBC's response to that is, well, at the end of the day, it's there as a form of entertainment. I said, if these people want to entertain us, they're in the wrong job.
Yeah, well, we've got EastEnders and Coronation Street, and let's be honest, it's probably more realistic. It's absolutely crazy, bro. I mean, don't be offended by LBC. They was all over me for a comment, and when I didn't give them the comment they wanted, they wouldn't talk to me at all. So
Well, I'm still trying to weigh LBC up because who was it? It was Nick Ferrari very
Right.
recently, right?
Yeah.
You were on about COVID recently. You've just been talking about COVID in the last 10, 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So, one guy phoned in. He goes, "Oh, have you seen what's going on in Israel?" And he absolutely slaughtered the guy by saying, "I'm not interested.
Yeah.
What's going on in any other country?" And I shouted at the radio in the car, and I was like, "You idiot! They're testing
do you
the waters in
know-
other countries."
My opinion on LBC is a very left-wing quango. But what I would say to you is, I mean, I spent decades shouting at the telly, shouting at the radio. Get even, mate. Get yourself on the local council. Get involved in local politics, because we need people like you that talk sense. That you've had experience in the workplace. A lot of politicians have never had a job. They go from school to university, and then on to politics. And, it's so unfortunate. And when you've actually got someone, you're debating something on, say, fire doors, you've actually got someone that's been a carpenter, and you've got huge invoices coming, and they'll say, no, that's wrong,
Yeah, rather than just put their hand up. Yeah.
We need proper people, not someone that just puts their hand up because they get kicked under the table, or they're all wearing a blue rosette or a red rosette or whatever. We need good, honest people in local politics who lift up the.
Thank you for that. I'm actually an engineer by trade.
Yeah, me too.
It's a hard life.
I was too. I left school. When this country had a manufacturing industry.
When God was a boy.
Yeah, I was a shop steward. I was the youngest shop steward in Ford's Dagenham engine plant that they ever had. And now I'm probably the oldest councillor in Heybridge.
I mean, serious question, guys. How far do you think you could take this? I mean, because I love what you're doing, but
me personally, I'm just going to go as far as I think I can. My little motto is that I'll always try my best. I'll always do my best. I'm not sure how far. I mean, I'm very, very aware that unless you make the right noises and unless they've got the right blackmail material on you, you probably won't, be able to climb the greasy pole. So
mainstream. They don't like people like me and Chrissy. What are them two going to say?
Speak the truth.
Yeah, what are them two going to say? Oh, they might tell the truth for a moment.
Yeah,
don't want them to. And all know they're terrible.
But the only way you know how far you're going to go is by trying. So we're going to try, and I mean that's why we're doing this, because more people need to know that there are good people out there. Because
there is good people.
Yeah, for years now, you've not had any real choice. I mean, I'm more left wing than right. I'm a centrist, really, but there's no way I'm voting for Keir Starmer. He's one of the best Conservatives in the House. I'm not voting Keir Starmer, and I'd never vote Boris Johnson either. There's no choice, and it is currently.
I've come to the point now, like Chrissy, it doesn't matter who you vote for.
Yeah, that is the truth. But if we all woke up to it, and see, the thing is, right, people have got to realise that they need to be the change they want to see. If you can't vote for anyone, that means that
you need to stand.
You need to stand.
Yeah.
And it's such a simple thing that basically, the way I use a few analogies, and this is a monster. The political system is a monster, and it's a monster that we're not going to defeat unless we get inside that monster and start changing the way that monster moves, thinks, and the cogs turn of it. We've got to, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been Emerson or someone like that. But the quickest way to defeat your enemy is make them your friend. What we need to do is we need a grassroots change in the political system to basically make society work for us and not just for the the gifted elite few. Because that is all it seems to be working. It's an old one, but it's so true. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. And what we need to do, I mean, if the rich gave a little bit more to the poor to get people out of the gutter, they're still going to be the richest people in the bloody world. They've got more money than they can ever spend. So, it's not going to actually matter to them.
Right. And just to touch on a quick one as well before I go.
Yeah, mate.
You touched on before about like people who are struggling with debt, this, that, and the other. So this is my contribution towards that. Obviously, you need to establish the priority debt. What you touched on. You know, I went through house repossession. I've sat in front of the judge for a TV license, council tax, repossession. You know, and it's not pleasant. But at the end of the day, establish priority debts to non-priority debts.
Yeah.
And absolutely just forget the non-priority debts. Don't even fall for the pound a week carry on.
Yeah.
As soon as you acknowledge the debt,
Yep.
they have got you. And
Statute barred. Statute barred.
People tend to pay the ones who knock on their door and hassle them more.
That's right. If you talk, you've just touched on their statute board. I've had about, I'm not a criminal, absolutely not. But I've just been unfortunate in my life. I was married for 18 years, and that's down the pan. I had a house, that's down the pan. I've got nothing. Well, don't get us wrong. I've got what I've got in my life, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
But statute board, I've had about 50 grand's worth of debt wiped off of that.
Statute barred, folks. Just have a look at that phrase, statute barred. But I mean, the simple thing is, they want us all in debt. They want us all in debt, and then they complain when we're in it. But debt is the way that this system works, or doesn't work. It's how they want you.
People I've worked with who say, "Oh well, I phoned mine up, I'm only paying £1 a week." I'm like, "Aye, for now, until I turn the screw."
Yeah,
because they're trained professionals.
Sorry, fella. We had a technical difficulty there.
Oh, right. Because I've got a shift to manage tomorrow.
You take care, fella. It's been really good talking to you.
From you.
Please call in again.
One more quick one.
Go on, bro.
If I was to get involved in parish counselling, how would I do it?
Phone up your parish council and just say to them, have you got any seats available as a counsellor? Are you taking anyone on, what's the phrase?
Co-option.
On co-option. But just phone the parish council that, your ward is, wherever you are, and just say to them, I'd like to be, to get involved.
Or within a couple of miles from where you live.
Yeah, I think 2.2, isn't it?
2.8.
2.8, something like that. But yeah, just phone up and just try and get involved. And definitely when there's an election coming up, that's when we do it.
Put your name down.
But Richard's the guru on the elections and stuff like that, and we will be doing.
I got
a lot
him
more.
elected. That's why they hate me.
Well,
they
come on,
hate me.
No one could resist these dashing good looks, could they?
So if you've got my phone number there now, so if you want to text me a message with your email, you can maybe pass some more information on. That would be nice. Do
me a favour, fella. If you could just text me and leave your name, and then that way, and just put, about getting elected, and that way I'll get straight back to you because I've got so many texts coming in, and I'm getting a little bit lost with it. Organisational stuff on technology isn't my bag, but yeah, if you can just leave your name.
Your workload, my friend.
Thank you, mate. Bro, it's been really, really nice talking to you. Thanks ever so much for phoning in.
And you. Bye-bye.
Take care, fella.
Bye.
Thanks, mate.
See you, fella. What a nice fella.
Yeah.
He's obviously from the northeast, the Geordie, proper Geordie.
We like these people that want to do better, that just don't. There's too many people get involved in politics because, it's their own. Oh, we've got another call. Let's go on a little bit late. Good evening. You're live on YouTube.
Hello, it's Chris Bateman here. Richard knows me.
Hello, Chris. You all right, mate?
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, great. Nice to hear from you.
Good, mate. Cracking show, mate. It's the first one I've ever watched as well.
Oh, right.
Chrissy, I've seen all your stuff, mate, on the parish council. Well done, mate.
Thank you very much, Chris. Cheers, mate.
Right. I've got a quick question for you, yeah?
Yep.
So basically, what's happened, I'm not going to say what council it is, but basically, I've been trying to get on my parish council for ages, right? They've basically got 2 councillors in their thing, right? So what they've done, they just put up recently a co-option, like the co-option thing. I've talked to Richard about it before, but basically what they've put in now, I went to the last council meeting because a couple of months ago, the last one got cancelled because there was only 2 of them. Yeah. So it got cancelled. Basically, the outgoing guy, they put in a thing where you've got to have interviews now.
Yeah, I mean, they can do that. And at the end of the day, it's down to when you come up for co-option, it's for the vote. Yeah. But they're just trying to put you off because... Yeah. Because what it is, guys, is that there's about 8 spaces
spaces on that council. But the thing is, the problem with it is a lot of people go on the council for a little while and come off of it.
Yeah, they
Because
get
they're all Tories. They're not. Do you know what I mean? It's all sort of because it's quite a small parish as well. They're not really. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you go into the meetings, it's all sort of what I call like a little like boys' club and all that.
Yeah.
And all there just chatting away and things like that. But I've obviously applied for it.
so
I applied a week ago, and like you know, what I mean, I think the closing date's like the end of the month, Tuesday or something.
how many spaces did you say they've got, Chris?
Well, they've actually got about 8, but obviously, like it's been like that for ages. Any council meetings that I've ever been to, that council's only had about 3 or 4 councillors on it. So it's always had. I'll tell you what happened. The last major elections that happened, the local ones, I forgot there was a parish council election as well. So like, I stood in a ward near me, but I forgot about the parish one. Because if I remembered, and actually it's not.
I told you not to.
I know. Like, I didn't check the blooming things. You know what I mean? It ended up that there was no election. Then they had another one in June, which I missed. And then obviously they, you know what I mean? They sort of didn't bother. But I emailed them, and they was like, "Oh no, we can't because it's a new council." But there was only like 3 of them on it. And then obviously now one's left.
When Chris, when was the last one that left?
So that was 2 months ago.
6 months, isn't it?
Well, because the moment someone leaves, they put a statutory notice up on the notice board, and it basically And have you missed the time or not?
No, this time I've actually applied for it. So what
What I'm saying is, Chris, is when someone leaves, a notice will go up for an election. So you can call an election, and you need 10 signatures in the local and if you think they're going to be playing games with you, then you
call an election.
You should call the election. But what happens? The statutory notice goes up on the on all the notice boards and on the website, etc. So then you have to go around, get a form with 10 signatures of local. If it's a parish, it's probably only 2 signatures.
Yes.
So at district it's 10, but if you get them 2 signatures, then you take it into the electoral.
Okay, because I'll tell you what as well, Richard. My parish council hasn't even got a clerk or a clerk.
Well, that's legal. They should have what's called a silker, which is.
Which is their qualification. I mean, if they haven't got one, it sounds like they're in a right old mess. And because they're fobbing people off, you need to, they should be taking people on. If they've got 8 spaces, if they've got 8 reasonable candidates, there's no reason why you shouldn't take them on, unless it's for political reasons.
And it sounds like the ones that are in there probably are enjoying having the power trip of it just being them.
Yeah.
They might have a nice little click thing going. I don't know, because I don't know where you are, Chris. But one bit of advice I can give you. Don't go in there with a megaphone until you're elected.
I mean, the thing is, I've got quite a lot of people that are actually like supporting me in the village, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, they might hate that because they might not see it because a lot of the stuffy types, that they just don't want anything to, they literally look after their own age group and their own social class. Which
demographics.
Yeah, they don't think about. I mean, at Haybridge, mate, we've looked at it and we've gone, right, something for the kids. We did a treasure hunt. I was famously the pirate captain for that. What we don't, we do Christmas dinner for the OAPs, for the pensioners. We did for the general people, we did a free cinema night and stuff like that. For the blind ladies, we're gonna have Richard doing some pole dancing. It's we're looking after people. Chris, can we talk outside this, mate? I'm pretty I'm on a time thing.
Tell Richard I want to have a free night. Don't tell soon.
Yeah, okay.
No worries, we'll have a couple of beers.
Come on down.
Yes, I will do. All right, guys.
Nice to hear from you.
Take care. Cheers, Chrissy.
Take care, mate.
Bye.
There's Chris. Thank you very much, Chris. Guys, we've well overrun and we haven't actually spoken much about what we were supposed to speak to.
We didn't speak about the big topic, immigration, did we, Chris? It's going to have to be the next time.
Yeah,
if you want to know what a righty and a lefty think about immigration.
And you'll be surprised, actually. No, we've had quite a few people asking about the tragedy on the channel, which it's not good when anyone dies. Guys, thank you ever so much. It's been emotional. Richard, say good night.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for all your calls and really nice. I see all the really nice messages coming through, and keep up the faith.
Keep it all coming, guys, and we'll see you. Oh, we've got another one. Do we answer this last call? Right, last call. Good evening. You're live on YouTube.
Christy Morris.
Hello. Who's that?
PJ.
Hey, PJ. I thought you'd ring. You have to ring right at the end, though, don't you? When we've got to go. How you doing, PJ?
Reason for ringing right at the end is because I struggle to get through, and I'm refusing to let you go. There's so many people trying to get through. They don't even know a number. I'm trying to put it in the chat box, and YouTube just censoring everything. So
yeah, we try not to read the chat too much because we end up getting too close to the screen and all that sort of stuff, So, hey, how you doing, PJ?
I'm doing good, Chris. Listen, just do me a favour. Tell everybody your number on chat. Because they're all waiting.
The number is 0758 777 1617. Do it again.
Everybody write that down. Write it down for next
Do it again.
time.
0758 777 1617.
And if you look on the, I always put a post up on my community bit of my Chrissy Morris YouTube profile. It's on Facebook as well. It's on the banner above my lovely looking photograph on my Facebook. And the number again is 0758 777 1617. You can text a question or suggestion for a topic. You can text that number anytime you want. Don't expect an answer back, soon or anything like that. I'll probably call you from my private number. And I've got to be a little bit coy with hiding my private number because obviously it's my private number. But yeah, you can text that number 0758 777 1617. You can text that with a question or a suggestion for a topic at any time, or give that number a call at 8 p.m. when we're doing one of these lives, and hopefully you'll get through. PJ, got any questions? Anything to say, brother?
Chrissy, I've got loads of questions, but not enough time to get them out to you, mate. So I guess
the best one.
Go on, the best one.
Can't you make these 2-hour shows?
We're gonna be, yeah. We're gonna be.
I guess that's my only question then for today. I'll have to call you back next time, yeah?
Yeah, no worries, bro, no worries. What I'll do is, mate, I'll give you a ring from my private number this week, brother, anyway.
Yeah.
For a catch-up. We ain't spoke for ages, bro.
All right, just take a couple more calls after me. I'm going.
Bro, love you. I'll speak to you soon, yeah?
See you, mate.
Bye-bye.
Take care, bro.
Bye.
Right, guys, we have got to go.
Immigration next time.
Immigration next time. We're also going to be doing a little bit about the variant. Mate, whatever we can get done, we'll get done. But I love talking to people, and I love people being able to talk, being able to be heard. So, the calls that come in will always take precedence over anything that we're supposed to talk about. Because at the end of the day, the show's called Have Your Say, and we love it that you're having your say. Yeah, it's your show. It's us two ugly fuckers doing it, but it's your show. Excuse the French. Guys, it's been emotional. Richard, got anything to say?
No, thanks for all the phone-ins, and thanks for all the nice messages on the chat. We're going to carry on with what we're doing, and
here's something for you guys. 3 or 4 years ago, he used to say to me about dressing smart. Look at the state of him now.
I've got a nice jumper on.
It's a nice, but it's not. Come on, it's lovely, Guys, thanks ever so much for your time, and we'll see you soon. Probably be a couple of days, and we'll have another one. So get your questions ready, and please give us a call and have your say.
See you later, guys.
Take care.
Thanks.